What's up guys, welcome to the Celsius video. It's been a few days since I've made a video, so in this video, I'm going to cover everything basically over the last 4 days or so that's happened with Celsius. I'm going to start out by going over all the links and the documents for you to make sure that you can check your claim. There's been a lot of different documents, a lot of different websites, and now you can actually email Stretto and they will send you an email with your claim. So I'm going to go over all that at the beginning because I think that is the most important thing and it's what I'm getting most questions on. I'm then going to go over some stats looking at all of the accounts with Celsius. What percentage of customers have certain amount of dollars in Celsius? I'm then going to talk a little bit about Simon Dixon's plan. I'm going to make my future video going over his updates about his actual plan on his YouTube station, so make sure to subscribe if you want to catch that. I'm then going to talk about what would happen if we liquidated the loans and how that would be very, very bad for taxes, especially if we go to Chapter 7 and it's a full-on liquidation. I'm then going to touch on how much the debtors Celsius's financial advisor has made over the last month and a half or so, which will blow your mind. I'm then going to finish off with Simon's estimate of how much money, how much crypto we're probably going to get back right now, and then going into how we're going to fill the rest of that hole, which again I'll cover in my future video. So let's start out with claims and just going over all of that. There are two different documents on Stretto, and I will link both below. Now the first one here is where you click the first initial of your first name, and it shows the transactions over the last 3 months before the petition date. So July 13th was the petition date. This will show every transaction that everybody made basically 3 months prior to the petition. And this is the document 973 on Stretto. And again, this is where you click the first initial of someone's name, and it will show all of the transactions that they've had over the last 3 months prior to July 13th. So this is one document where you can go ahead and see what's going on. And the next document is right here. This is where you can see exactly how much money you have inside the wallet. So this document is 974. And this is where, again, you click your first initial of your name, and it'll show exactly how much you have in the wallet. And this is also the document where it'll say yes or no to, is the claim subject to an offset? All this means is that you have a loan, and that will have to be factored in. So I will include both of these documents below. Again, the first one is showing the transactions 3 months prior to filing bankruptcy, and the second one is just how much money you have inside of your wallet. The next page, which I covered in a previous video, is Celsius-Victims, and this is another page where you can type in your name and click submit, and it'll show you basically what you can see in these two documents. So it just kind of compiles all of this data into one database here. And if you still can't find your name, most likely you are not using the name that you used to sign up with Celsius, including your middle name. Now you can also just do this and forego everything I just talked about. This is where you can enter your Celsius email address, click submit, and they will send you exactly how much money your claim is worth. And they say here, if your claim information is correct, you do not need to file a claim and no further action is required. And one thing to note about your email is that it needs to be case sensitive, which is really weird. I was trying it for myself and it kept saying my email was not valid. And I'm like, yes, it is. This is the email that I used with Celsius. It's because I capitalized the first letter of the email, which is stupid. So make sure most likely everything is lowercase and then click submit. And then you will just get an email showing exactly how much crypto you have and in what quantities. So here it says if the claim is scheduled as disputed, contingent, or unliquidated, then you may need to file a claim, or you should file a claim. But again, to remind you guys that the claim form is not live yet, so there is no place to file a claim that you can actually document how much crypto you have. So if there is a discrepancy, if you don't agree, if it's not what it shows inside of your Celsius wallet, then you will file a claim, but not right now because it's not live. So taking a look at a couple slides, there have been a lot of people crunching all the numbers because, well, everything is public right now, so people are trying to figure out what percentage is owned in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cell Token, etc. Here you can see the average holding for Celsius customers is $11,000, and the top number one holder has $47 million inside of Celsius. Here are some interesting numbers. 62% of customers have $500 or less. 462 customers have balances over $1 million, and 462 customers have a balance over $1 million. And here's a breakdown of the customers, 603,000, and the percentage of customers with certain dollar amounts inside of their wallet. And here Simon says over 99% of account holders have less than $5,000 in Cell Token. So this is talking about what his plan is for Cell Token, which again I'm going to cover in my next video where he's going over his exact plan. Essentially, Simon's trying to figure out how to get out of Chapter 11, not go into Chapter 7 liquidation, but doing so in a way where there's going to be the least amount of friction in a compliant way. So Cell Token could be a security, and giving securities back to customers could be an issue. So again, I'll cover that in my next video. And this kind of covers what his plan is. He says we don't need to fight over Cell Token. The bankruptcy code says use the price at point of bankruptcy, which I think is like 75, 78 cents per Cell Token or so. Send all the Cell on the app and Treasury to a burn address and get your pro rata share of Bitcoin and ETH and illiquid assets. So again, I'll cover this in the next video talking about his plan. So more about Cell Token, Simon says the reason I propose treating Cell in-app fairly and burning it is regulators don't want the treasury dumped in the future and don't want to rush to sell if we get out. So again, Celsius has a lot of Cell Token in their treasury. He says the regulators would not want that to be dumped in the future. He also says the majority of Cell is owned by insiders and involved in an examination by regulators and was registered as a security. Again, he says, I want out of Chapter 11 ASAP. So getting rid of Cell or doing something with that Cell, and his idea I think could really work, is the quickest way to get out of Chapter 11. So what Zach said about liquidating loans is this. He said liquidating loans would be force selling of your collateral in a bear market. This would be leaving loan holders with possibly debilitating tax consequences and giving up your coins in the low market. So that is something to be aware of, and I do not think that that is what Simon wants in his plan as well. And Celsius Loans says if it went to Chapter 7, they would just subtract the principal from collateral, catastrophic tax consequences, he says, and total failure of imagination to get us out of bankruptcy and sustain a profitable revenue stream for Celsius or a new company. So again, Simon talks all about this, but there are a lot of pushback about selling your collateral and liquidating your loans, because why did people take out loans in the first place? Well, for one, it was to not pay taxes. I mean, that's what Alex said for years. Rich people take loans on their assets, right? You have Bitcoin, you take a loan against it, and you don't pay any capital gains for getting that money. You don't pay anything because you're not selling anything. So forced selling, a liquidation, would cause a lot of tax consequences, and we're trying to avoid that. So David Adler talking about first monthly fee statement has been filed in this case. Alvarez, which is the debtor's Celsius's financial advisor, has incurred the modest sum, modest, of $2.9 million for 3,772 hours of work between July 13th and the end of August. And this is the first page of that document, $2.9 million. And a lot of people are saying, yep, we picked the wrong profession. We should have been restructuring lawyers because they're the ones, unfortunately, making all the money right now. So somebody asked Simon, how much would we get back if somebody were to buy our assets and if we just wanted to liquidate everything now, or a company like FTX were to buy Celsius? He says it is a moving target, but I think about 50%, but it would depend on the OTC trade price. We'd need data analysts to model this out if the community is up to the task. So again, he's saying right now around 50%. And that's been the kind of target or the idea that a lot of other people have been saying too. 50% right now, if it were to go just to like a sale, if FTX were to buy all of our assets, we may get 50% back right now. And that is not good enough for most people, right? We don't want 50% of our crypto. That's ridiculous. So in my next video, I will cover Simon's plans. He's coming out with one video a day, I believe. So I will try to keep up to date and summarize his videos, just giving you guys the nuggets so you don't have to watch watch the entire video. But if you do, subscribe to Simon Dixon's YouTube station, because he does obviously give more information in his full videos. And the last thing here before I end the video. So on October 13th, that is going to be 2 days from today. So that'll be Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern. There is going to be a meeting, a 341 meeting of creditors. Now there is a call-in number here and a participant code. So if you want to check that out, I will again include this Stretto document in the description, along with all the other documents that I talked about today. So guys, that is it for this video. Still very, very hopeful we will get out of this without a liquidation, and all the criminal stuff, all the examiner stuff, that's going to be taken care of. All I care about is getting out of this mess, getting out of this crazy town that we're in right now with Celsius, and so we can all move on with our lives. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Till next time, talk with you soon. I'm still not sponsored by Black Rifle, but if you're watching Black Rifle, I will take your sponsorship. And till next time, talk with you soon, and bye for now.